Now they lost it on the 40 acres on campus grounds. We gather round, discussing goals and dreams and life's adventures. The Texas Longhorns, they the talk of the town. High castles of the 40 acres, where we dive deep into the game day stories, from touchdowns to heartbreakers. We discuss it all, Texas Longhorns glory. There we gather round each Thursday night, talking sports, it's so alright. From football to basketball, baseball to softball, Tim Wayne and Irish, we cover it all. Sports talk is our passion, our delight. Thursday night at 8:30, we unite. We discuss the scores, the plays, the teams who might. Let's dive into the game, let's ignite.
12 conference champions.
There we are. Listen, that was our new intro that Tim and I put together.
Yes,
our first intro that we put together. But we hope you guys enjoyed it. We will continue to update that. The goal here is to maybe take some of what we did and then update it as the season goes, so we can try to keep it as fresh as possible, especially with everything going on. But hey, before we get going, get rolling, we have so much news to talk about, specifically for EA Sports College Football. My phone was blowing up all day. Tim was at work. His phone was blowing up all day. And we'll talk about it all. We'll also go in and we'll cover the new college football format, because that's important as it comes to the 40 acres and the Texas Longhorns. Yep. But before we get started, of course, my name's Harish. I'm here with my guy, Tim Wayne. Tim, how you doing, man?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm really excited. I was not expecting this to happen today of all days. You know, last week we discussed what we expected to happen. It seems like this is going to be one of the biggest, and I'm not just saying this because like I'm a fan, but it feels like this is going to want to be one of the biggest rollouts that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it.
EA puts a lot of efforts into the marketing that they want to put efforts into.
And you can clearly see it in this rollout.
This is a big deal for EA, right? This is a big deal. This game has been gone for 11 years. I know I saw a couple tweets from people that are like, why are people taking like a week off, 2 weeks off to play this game? Listen, we haven't had this game in 11 years. This game was stolen away from us because some guy got butthurt of something. And he took
not only him, but also, you know, the NCAA being jerks, you know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah,
it is not only Ed O'Bannon, but it's also, you know, the NCAA, which we are truly seeing, I believe, the end of days with this. Like, because
it's getting closer and closer.
The deals that we're seeing, and we'll get more into detail as we go along, but the more and more that the deals and what we're seeing coming out is so dope to see how this is coming together.
Well, one thing is you can no longer set up hotel rooms for recruits anymore.
Right.
So the NCAA is doing what they can. I think they know at the end of the day that they're going to be done. They're done pretty soon.
Right.
I'd give it 2 or 3 years. I think the formation of the Big Ten and the SEC committee, you know, group, whatever you want to call it, I think is a big indicator of what the future of college football is going to be.
Right. Now, I mean, we are not the biggest fans of the NCAA. However, for other sports, the NCAA is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to other sports, especially your smaller sports, your Division IIs, things like that.
Yeah,
way more impactful, way more impactful on the sports for the smaller schools, keeping things together, things like that. So I'm not I just don't want the NCAA and college football to. It's clearly a divide, and you can see it happening. It's like small stuff. Like, why did they put that out over the weekend? Why, when we had a number of recruits coming down to Austin this weekend. Like, why? Like, why would you put that out over the weekend? Because that didn't come out during the week. That came out Saturday afternoon while Texas had recruits there. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
I mean, Texas isn't the only school that had recruits where they were.
Right. No,
which piece of news? What are you talking about?
So they were saying that recruits over the weekend when they dropped the information about not being able to have recruits coming, having hotels, like decorated hotels.
Yeah.
We had some recruits here.
That dropped today.
I heard that dropped over the weekend.
It dropped today. That news dropped today. That's brand new news.
Brand new. Okay.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I heard that came out over the weekend. Again, I could be.
I mean,
wrong.
if the schools got it over the weekend, so be it. But the news that we got that news or that report came out 6 hours ago.
Fair enough. That's
reported by Andrew Ivins from On3 Recruiting. So shout out to director of scouting for 24/7, not On3. But we've got a lot to talk about before we get to it. Let's pay our bills here. FanBattlesports.com. Of course, FanBattlesports.com, bringing you the latest and greatest of all the AFC South teams, including the Mayo Eaton Titans, the Colts who doesn't know who to draft and use free agency, the Jaguars who still can't hold a division lead, and the Texans who got the best quarterback in the draft class and nobody's talking about it. FanBattlesports.com. Also, if you want to join Fan Battle Sports, go to the contact information and fill it out. We provide everything for you, everything from graphics, the ability to do your podcast, whatever you'd like. FanBattlesports.com. Also, follow us on LH Fan Battle Twitter.
Yes, sir.
X, Twitter, Twix, whatever the hell you want to call it. Follow us there. We're almost at 2,500 followers on Twitter.
Man, it's lovely.
Super dope. We are about 75 followers away from 2,500. So thank you guys for supporting us out there in the Twitter worlds. It's been a good time. We're starting to build our SEC fan base. So, I've made some connections with some SEC folks. So hopefully in the future, we'll be able to have some of those guys on our show. It'd be really nice. We're doing some work there. So LH Fan Battle. What's up, Tim?
What's up?
Oh, you're about to say something.
No, make sure you guys also like, share, comment, and subscribe. YouTube, we need to get those YouTube followers up. Where are we at?
We are actually up to 40, actually.
Right.
39 or 40. It's something along those lines.
Listen, we want to get you the news. If you need the news, this is where you need to come, dog. So you need to run that. You need to get anybody and everybody who loves college football, no matter what the team. You can they can hate watch for all I care. Make sure you get them on the YouTube. Make sure they follow us. Make sure they subscribe so they can get all the news. As we get more news about EA Sports College Football, we will definitely keep you updated because, of course, just like everybody else, we are fans. That's why this network is here. That's why Harish has done the work that he's done with not only this podcast, but others, because he is also a fan of the sport. So make sure you guys, again, like, share, comment, subscribe. If you don't subscribe here, tell a fan. If they're a fan of the AFC, we got a lot of Houston Texans guys. Hit us up, man. Let's just do it.
Absolutely. And let's continue to grow the channel. Hopefully, if things go well, we have at least 100 followers, 150 followers by the time football season rolls around. I'm working on trying to get credentials so we can cover, SEC media days, spring practice. Still working on some of that stuff. But yeah, we want to try to get the best content for you guys. But definitely follow us on YouTube. We are live. Normally, we're live every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. We are going a little bit early today because I've actually got to travel out of town.
Yes, sir.
Right after the show, so I'm gonna make the good old drive 3 hours down the road. So, but but we are normally live Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m. So follow us there on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
All righty, Tim. So once again, and this is the second straight Thursday where EA just dropped something out of nowhere. And, obviously the first drop that they had today was a GIF of all 134 FBS schools, Division I schools that are in the FBS, considered the FBS, confirming that every single school will be represented in EA Sports College Football, which is the most that the game has ever done before.
Right. The most we got was prior to that was 122, if I'm not mistaken.
If your school is a Division I football school, you will be in the game. Right. So we're going to see a bunch of new teams this time around. If I'm not mistaken, we'll see schools like Texas State. Yep. We'll see schools like Sam Houston, which is a big team that's being floated around as like a rebuild opportunity, right? Yep. We're going to see Appalachian State. We're going to see Texas State. So there's a lot of different schools that we're going to see in this football game. And then as soon as that happened, just news started coming out everywhere. They've now confirmed. I wouldn't say all the commentators, Tim, but I think a good vast majority of them have been confirmed.
Right.
So the confirmed list, and I'm pulling it up right now. The confirmed list is, as of right now, as follows. So we've got Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler, David Pollock. I thought David Pollock was interesting because he's no longer associated with College Game Day. Right. So I thought that was very interesting. Jesse Palmer. I haven't seen Lee Corso confirmed yet.
I think Lee Corso will be there.
I think he'll get there.
Something extra special for Lee.
Yeah.
I think Lee, as far as like the rollout and the treatment, we associate College Game Day with, not only ESPN, but Lee Corso, even though, he's gotten older, but he's still what I would consider the face. Him and Kirk are definitely the faces, even though we kind of see how things are they're kind of phasing him out, you know what I mean? But I would say he's on his last hurrah. I would say maybe, about 2 more years, maybe 3 is cutting it, that we'll see Lee, being in the middle on that desk in that middle panel there for College Game Day.
I honestly don't think Lee Corso. This might be Lee Corso's last season.
Do you think so?
I think so. I think this is he's going to give
just with age and things like that.
Well, not just age, but just like the health issues last year.
Yeah.
Bringing in Nick Saban, I think it's a very key. Bringing in Pat McAfee, these they're starting to bring in a new breed of folks to help solidify that gap there. So I just think this is his last season. But yeah, we have yet to see Lee Corso, but Jesse Palmer's on there. Kevin Connors is now confirmed. And then, of course, Desmond Howard and Reese Davis are also now confirmed. Desmond Howard took a few hours. Look, I think Desmond Howard was asleep when they first initially announced it. The guy got up and he was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely in there too."
Yeah.
So Gabriel Ruiz comes in with Tuck Fexes. Go Hogs. Hey, Gabriel, your typing is just as good as your school's IQ. So thank you for that.
Woo Pig Suey.
Texas is about to get a proper welcome to the FC. Texas is going to get a very good welcome, and they're gonna let everybody know who's big boy in town now. So we'll see you guys in November. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Listen, if you as an Arkansas fan thinks Steve Sarkisian forgot that game in Fayetteville, you are sadly mistaken.
Yeah,
he has built this team for that game. The next time we see them,
that game sucked, bro.
That
game was so bad.
That's when I knew that Casey Thompson, nor what's his name, the quarterback we had, the guy was awful. Oh shoot, whatever his name is, whatever his name is, he was just the quarterback at Purdue. That's how I knew those two sucked. Because that guy just went to Purdue and shit up a storm. But yeah, that's when I knew this team was the quarterback for this team was not there. I think Stark knew too. So don't worry. We will be ready for you guys.
You know, one thing I do love about SEC fans is that they're people say that we're delusional because we're Texas fans and we hold this pride about the school or whatever. And some people say, oh, well, y'all don't even really have history, stuff like that. Like SEC fans, y'all can have like 1 or 2 good years. If I'm not mistaken, Arkansas hadn't won a national championship since like 1960. Like,
Listen, A&M hasn't won a national title since like 1866. So.
If I'm not mistaken, the last time Arkansas won a national title, I believe Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson were teammates on the same team.
Let's see. The last Arkansas Razorback national title was in 1964.
Jesus Christ! All right,
bro. That was my mom was 5 years old.
My mom wasn't even born.
So I know Arkansas fans. Yeah, there you go. Since Jerry Jones played offensive line, and the dude can barely get one for his quarterback right now. So,
whoa! That offensive line is actually pretty decent.
It's decent. It's decent. Listen, the best offensive line Jerry Jones had, Tony Romo tore his clavicle. And
Come, all right. Move
on. In the modern era, obviously the
don't do that. Don't do that, bro.
What do you mean? We're here to speak the truth, are we not?
Bro, that hurt, bro. Don't do that.
I'm sorry, Tim. Listen, my team's experienced a lot of mediocrity in the last 10 years. So if I could take jabs at other teams' mediocrity, I will. My bad, Joe.
12-5 is mediocre?
What bro, y'all are 12-5 every year.
Over 10 games in the last 10 years is mediocre?
Yes, because you've only won one playoff game since what, 1995?
That's not true. We've won more than one playoff game.
3. Who cares? It doesn't matter anymore. Anyway. Yes, for those of you guys that don't know, Tim is a Cowboys fan. So
yeah.
He's about to start the Cowboys cycle here in a few days.
Whoa, wait. You finna say that we're gonna win the Super Bowl or something like that?
No. It's the off-season excitement that your fan base has. Have you ever seen the clock where it's like get really excited?
You are all
I'm just putting it out there. It's like A&M fans. You know how like A&M fans are super excited about Mike Elko? Bro. And it's like every year they talk about how hyped they are. Like the season after Jimbo.
Speaking of A&M, bro, Johnny Manziel, bro.
Oh yeah, Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel, bro.
He's like, you know what? Let's just spill it. Let's spill it.
Bro, he's probably never gonna be able to go back to College Station, bro.
They love him too much. Bro, do you know how weird that university is? Stuff like, yeah, but Johnny is just being Johnny. Bro, this is how Johnny Manziel is.
First off, Kevin Sumlin dropped the ball, bro. That he should have kept Cliff Kingsbury. He should have made Johnny Manziel stay. Like
as an OC, kept Kingsbury as an OC.
Yeah, what are you doing, bro?
Well, A&M should have hired Cliff Kingsbury after they fired Kevin Sumlin.
So, that would have been a good look.
Maybe isn't that when Kingsbury ended up going to Tech? Was after Johnny Manziel?
No. He went back to he did go back.
He was the head coach at Tech.
Yeah, he
had Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure Cliff Kingsbury had Patrick Mahomes. He recruited.
Yeah, he did.
Dang.
Dude,
Patrick Mahomes could have been an A&M legend.
What's really telling about that whole situation, and then we can move on, is that the fact that they fumbled Kyler Murray the way they did.
Bro,
they let Kyler Murray go, and then Kyler Murray went to Oklahoma and tore everybody's ass up. Like,
they could have gone from A&M or Johnny Manziel to Kyler Murray.
And Kyler Murray was a beast. And I hate Kyler Murray with a passion, but Kyler Murray, like, and I'm talking about the football player, not the human, but the football player, I hate it. But
him too. Because he's a little short guy that slid everywhere.
He smoked everybody, dog.
And if you're a quarterback, you need to learn how to slide. Go talk to Kyler That dude just
No, for real, because he's really good at
he's
protecting.
really good at protecting himself.
Yeah, he's really good at that. So,
Except when he got hurt. But anyway,
oh well, now you want to talk about bad lines? The Cardinals are trash.
they could still build a good team around.
Oh yeah, they got the pieces. They got the cap. They got all of it. They can do whatever they want, really.
See what they do. They have the picks. They have the cap. They have everything. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, none of that has to do with college football. 25. So, other news that's come out today. So obviously we get those guys as commentators. The confirmed schools, all 134. This is the stuff I really want to talk about.
Yeah, let's get to it.
The NIL side of this has always been a question. How much do the players get? What does that include? Right. So every player that's in the game that accepts participation in the game they'll get $600 and a copy of the game. I love the way they're doing this. Right? Yeah. They have to opt in via an NIL app. So it's like a digital signature. They're opt-in. I'm sure there's like a contract. I'm curious if we'll ever see what like a screenshot of what this app is. Mm-hmm. And I'll post it on our Twitter if I can find one. But this is very interesting. I love the way EA is doing this because you have to scale this, right? 11,000 players. It didn't even make sense to go to each NIL collective and say, hey, go talk to your players. So they came up with the way to say, yep, Quinn Ewers is good. And I bet you so that post that they're putting on there, mm-hmm. The players that are accepting saying, hey, I'll be a part of the game. You know how EA does things when you like sign up for stuff or when you vote for like team of the year in FIFA, you can like share something. It's like, hey, I voted for the team of the year. It's the same concept, right? Once you accept it, there's like a auto-generated template of a post that you can put up on all your social media, on all your socials to let whoever know that you're actually doing it. So I think this is very intelligent.
If that is the case, that is genius. I'm for that.
That was a very good way. Very good way.
The fact that they were able to sit down and this just lets you know, like, I forget the name of the collective that EA is working with. Whoever this collective is thinking 10 steps ahead in regards to getting this information out. Because we know how this would have gone maybe 5 years ago, right? Yeah. If this would have happened 5 years ago, there would have been paper that had to get out or some type of email that had to get out. Probably would have went to college emails that the players don't even check, or personal emails, and you got to go look for it. They probably had every major college football team. Everybody had a meeting. It was probably the same thing, same format. Hey, we're all gonna go sit down. You're gonna listen to this video. We're gonna ask any questions or have any other. If anybody has any type of questions, you can ask them during this video or during this conference. Everybody's to download the app. See if you want to be a part of the game. If you do, cool. You fill out your information. You probably had to fill out your information there. Make sure it's as accurate as possible. Make sure it matches your driver's license, because I'm going to assume everybody has some type of ID or some type of, licensing here. And then fill it out. And then that's how they upload that information into a game. And it probably feeds right into a game server. Like, I would not be surprised.
No, there's probably something set up that like collects that information, puts it in some sort of table right back, and that when they get. So this is just getting their information in there, right? This isn't going to put them in the game.
Right.
The next piece of this is how they're going to do their likeness. How are they going to get face scans? So their goal is to have over. Hey, Gabriel, we really appreciate it. We're gonna continue to cover college football. Gabriel, if you follow us on Twitter and Hook'em Horns, follow us also on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
If you continue this, the next thing is how do we get their likeness in the game, and that's what I'm more curious about, because you're not gonna have people trying to hunt down 11,000 kids, right? NIL is name, image, and likeness. It's not just the image piece of this, right? Likeness is also including their name, including their height, date of birth, weight, whatever they want to include. But it's also, if they can get some of the top guys, this is what I anticipate them doing. They will probably get some of the top guys at every position and get image, like a face scan in the game. I heard they're gonna. So Madden's doing body scans this year for the first time.
Yeah.
Which I think is super sick. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Because now the goal behind that is to get the correct body types for the different types of bodies that are out there in the game to make that as accurate as possible. And then they'll go back and all the players that they supplement, these will now become your new body types that you can
Right.
Melvin Banks, for example, would be a certain body type, but they know that because they have a body scan of Kelvin Banks.
Right.
And that's the model they're going to use inside the game.
Right.
So that's how I anticipate that working.
This is how I anticipate them covering and making sure they get all the facial scans first. Let's be completely honest, the big dogs, they're all probably going to get flown out. They're going to get flown out.
Yeah.
They're going to get the royal treatment. They're going to get the royal carpet. They're going to get, the I could see that happening. If it's not already happening, it'll happen by spring break. Like the real spring break.
They might. That's the week they might actually do it, like right before spring practice.
Yeah. So
and
it's funny that you mentioned spring practice. Spring practice is starting up pretty soon here for a lot of schools. That is also a point because I don't know if you remember this, but a couple years ago during COVID, they talked about how they was able to scan bodies, and this was talking about Madden. Basically what they did was they created basically like a traveling unit, and they traveled to specific teams. They came in, you sat down, you got your face scanned, and then they moved on. Like, I feel like with the amount of kids that are going to be and opt into this game, that's probably how they're going to do it. I could see them, just hitting certain practice, hitting certain areas of the country. We're going to start out the Southeast. Of course, that would be the easiest because that's where Tiburon and the college football stadium is, college football team is located. They'll probably start there. They'll probably have some other teams as well, and they'll collectively get all of that information, by region, and then go from there. I could see them tackling it like that.
I think the way they also could tackle this is once they get on the field, using drones to give shots. Say, hey, man, go stand right there real quick, drone shot. Go stand right there real quick, drone shot.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to wait for a photographer and all this extra.
Right.
Go stand right there, stand right in the middle of it, drone shot next. So they can just cycle through the team in 3 or 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing to look at. How are they going to get the players in the game? Opt in via the app. They're expected to have over 11,000 players in this game. So
that's crazy.
This is where things get very interesting. Madden is probably like what? 32 teams. So there's 3,200. It's like 32. So 3,000, right?
I would say, okay, let's say 3,000, not including
rosters, right?
Practice squad players.
So base level 53-man rosters, it's like 1,700, right?
1,700. Okay, 1,700.
So they're basically almost times 10? They're almost times 5, times 7, something like that. It's insane.
That is nuts, dog.
So
it's nuts, and it's also exciting because these guys have really, I don't know, like, it's another thing is like they can't keep this in for very long. Like they got a lot of work to do still. Yeah. And granted, like we know and we feel, and we've covered this, and we talked about this last week. We feel that the base game within itself is already done, right? However,
I think all
this is the polishing that we were talking about last week. Getting the face scans, getting the proper numbers, getting the proper. Are they going to do the proper padding? Because nowadays, like nobody wears knee pads anymore. People stopped wearing knee pads maybe 8 or 9 years ago when OBJ came into the league, and that was around the time that NCAA released college football, like NCAA 14. So it's like what, like how is that? What's the magic that within that as well? Like not only of the face skins, like how, because college football players just don't dress the same. They don't have the same they have college football has enabled, and so is the NFL, has enabled players to have a little bit of individuality. And so with that being said, is like I would really like to see like Demarion Overshown would like 10 years ago would never be able to wear all of those armbands on his arms like he did.
Right,
Like
right.
that would never fly. So stuff like that, like you think about we can go back to Kyler Murray when he had the head tie, like that was the neoprene head tie, like that was a thing. I could just think of like a couple other players like they kind of just stuck out because of how they had their, they were individuals. Was Shedeur wearing a watch? I know he had the watch on before.
I don't think he wears his chains.
The chains, that's it.
Yeah,
he
wears his chains. He doesn't wear his watch during the game. I would sure hope not. I hope he wouldn't. Yeah, many times as that he gets hit, I would hope he doesn't get it.
Yeah, that line is pure trash. I hope they do better than that man, because that man can ball when he wants to. So like the chains and stuff like that, I really want to see that dude. Like,
I'm very interested to see how deep they go.
Yeah.
I'm also interested to see like what this looks like for Road to Glory, right? How much customization are you going to be able to put into the game? How many things are you going to be able to customize, right? Can you put tattoos? Can you put chains? Can you put headbands? Can you put what can you put on? Like and there's promise of a lot of customization because it's not Madden, because they're not hogtied by the NFL or the NCAA.
Right.
They could have easily went to the NCAA and say, hey, we want this game back and we want to call it NCAA football. The NCAA, I guarantee, would have taken it. They would have taken it for sure. But they would have said things like, well, this is what you have to do in order to be able to meet that criteria.
Right.
And EA didn't want that, right? So this customization wouldn't have happened. But I want to get to a couple of other things. The last thing that I'm going to get to is the thing I want to talk to you about the most, because it's the thing I'm most excited about.
Yeah, let's do it.
So role coaches won't be in the game the first year.
Right.
I'm okay with this. I think
too.
It makes sense. Can you get their names in the game? Yeah, I think they can do that. I don't think they'll be able to like get their face scans in there.
Right. I think you will be able to go into the University of Texas head coach and name him Coach Sark. Or it may not say Sarkisian, but I'm pretty sure it will say Sark. One thing that was always crazy about NCAA is that a lot of those names that you would put into the game, you wouldn't think that they would say them, and they would say them.
Oh yeah. I think they'll still have like their names in there and like all that. I think that stuff will be there because that's all cosmetic, right?
Right.
I think it's their scans that they won't be able to get until next year.
Oh, okay.
Because they want to focus on the players, and I'm completely okay with it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they'll have Steve Sarkisian. I think they'll have Kirby Smart. Because in reality, right, it's only 134 coaches. Now you're not. I don't think you're going to get like the offensive line coach, right?
Yeah, you're not.
Kenny Baker's not going to be in the game.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know about, because even in Madden, you don't have like the offensive coordinator, the defense. You have their names in the game, but like the commentators don't say their name because then it's too much.
Yeah.
Right? I was going to say Pete Kwiatkowski, right? I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
But I think you do get their names. I want to do a video. I think you and I should do a video that talks about our wish list. And there's some things on here that I have that I don't think anybody's talked about yet. So I think you and I can get together probably early next week, and we'll try to put together a little 20-minute video about what our wish list is for this game.
For sure.
I'll try to figure that out. So the NIL and transfer portal will be in the game. We don't know to what capacity, but we do. I think we've always known that, right? Those are details we've always known. Right. This is what is interesting. You will not be able to create a player who chooses not to be in the game. I think that was
I think that's fair.
But it makes sense, right? Don't put yourself at risk.
Yeah, right.
It's just like the NFL, right? If a player or a coach doesn't want to be in the game, you can't use them. You can't use them, right? Now, NFL is a little bit different where you can change like names if you like, but I think they're going to be very strict about this. And I think this is something that they're probably, like the bot system that they use for like inappropriate names. They're probably going to use the same thing and just say, hey, if this name is used, let players know they can't use it. But players, we're gamers. We're smart.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
That's okay.
Right.
Now, if they just say you won't be able to edit that player at all, that's when things get interesting.
Yeah, it will just if player 25 is player 25 and you can't do anything about it.
You can't edit his name or nothing. That'll be interesting.
It's probably most likely on the back end. It's going to be coded as that person's name, whatever. So you won't be able to utilize that.
Right.
But again, like you said, somebody's going to figure out a way, especially that PC community. That PC community is tough. It's one of the
the game's not confirmed to be on PC. It is not confirmed on PC. It is only on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S.
Oh.
Yeah, there has not been a confirmation of a PC title.
So that's interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, I
think it's smart. Again,
it's smart because
mods. You don't want the modding. It's heading a fine line. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we don't get one. At least until they can open up some of this other stuff. Maybe next year. I don't think we see a PC version this year, but I think as they have another year to get more stuff in there. I think we'll see we'll get a PC version eventually, and where mods and all this stuff isn't that big of a deal. I think the EA is also at the same time they have to build a relationship with the NCAA again and rebuild that relationship. So, so we talked about this over earlier. Only FBS teams will be in the first installment of the game. So no FCS, no HBCUs, like none of that in the first year. Just because there's so many, since every single team is opted in, that's a lot of work that they have to do.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Over 11,000 contracts are being sent out, so they want to have over 11,000 players. The game will be completely different, even though it's run on the same performance system. Listen, for those of you guys that have played NCAA in the past, this game has always been different.
Always
played different, always looked different, always felt different. The president of EA Sports was talking. I heard an interview. I think Cam Brewer is his name. And he's talking about how there are schools that have sent over 200 assets, 200 uniforms, alternates, home, away, statues. He said that there's a school that sent statues that they have stadium in front of the stadium, around, in the vicinity of the stadium, various things that they place inside of the stadium. There's schools that have sent assets what their seats look like in certain places of the stadium. There are schools that sent some sick details, right? And so that's why it's taking them so long to get this stuff in there, because he actually said they got an overwhelming response from a lot of the schools on what was sent to them, which is right. So to be able to design a bunch of the uniforms, I'm sure Oregon has 60 uniforms in the game, right? That is a school that overwhelmingly has a lot of different things.
Right.
I don't know what that was. That was interesting. So yeah, there's it's going to be just the immersion, the fight songs, the different songs that they play throughout the games, right? Maybe you'll get the drone show as Texas. I don't know. I don't know.
One thing that I was listening to, our good buddy Matt Brown, he was on a different podcast. I think it was called The Northerners.
I need to check that out.
Yeah, it was basically he was talking about how the host of the show, I forget his name, so forgive me. He was basically asking how is EA basically going off of what you were saying, the overwhelmingly response of all of the details that were sent in, and how even EA encouraged to say, hey, we know Wisconsin uses Jump Around. That's one of their things, right? Jump Around is one of the songs that they utilize, right? EA was, even from what I've been told or what was told, was EA was even adamant about saying hey, whatever songs you use at your games, send it to us so we can get in contact with the people that we need to get in contact with, so we can get the licensing for this specific thing. And exactly. I think the host of the show, I don't think he realized how much.
His name is Doug Les Maricis. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, something like that.
Kings of the North podcast.
Kings of the North podcast. So shout out to them for that interview because it was a really good interview. It was like 45 minutes. But I don't think he realized, and Matt had to kind of shine some light. And he was like, "Bro, EA's got a lot of money, right? Like EA's got a lot of money to throw around." So like, they were like, he was like, yeah, they could probably get the licensing if they're willing to pay for it. They'll pay for it. They'll get it. I know this is sounding like a long shot, but I really feel like this is going to be some type of record-breaking game that comes out. I think it's going to be right up there with the FIFAs and the Call of Duties that come out every year that have that rabid fan base. I think it's getting to that point. The rollout that they're doing, if this train continues where things come out every Thursday, and it doesn't even have to come out every Thursday, but if they just give us a sprinkle every couple of weeks till July, dude.
I think we are on the course to getting something every week until May. So that is basically the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 weeks at least. So for the next, and we might get sprinkles of things, right? It's not just, but it's going to be like news like this, right? It's not, I don't think we'll get anything related to like specifically in the game, but it's going to be news around the game. Hey, Nick Saban's going to be, special guest, whatever in the game.
They could literally, this is just again me shooting in the dark. We don't know anything. We're not going to pretend. We don't know anything. We are ex-EA employees, but we know nothing. So don't come to us asking if we know anything. If we do find something out and it's okay to share it, we will share it. But we don't know nothing. So we're shooting in the dark. If they were to do something like this, and again, this is a hypothetical that I don't know, they could literally go by conference and release team uniforms, a home and away jersey, just a screenshot. Doesn't even have to be a video, just a screenshot of the Power 5 until this game comes out, and it would set the internet on fire. It doesn't matter if it's Tulane. It doesn't matter if it's, I don't know, Georgia Southern Miss. I don't know. That is going to generate content. And if EA is doing this right, my Twitter timeline has been in shambles all day. Yeah. Bro, since about when did news started breaking? Like 9, 10 o'clock?
10 a.m.
It's been
10 a.m. EA time. That's when
it's been nonstop. It's been nonstop content from 10 a.m. to now. My phone, which is normally good on battery, is almost at 25%. It's early. It's 6:25. It's crazy. So I really hope that they keep this up. I really feel like they could be bringing something special. I don't think people realize and again, we did miss somewhat of a generation of players. Gen Z kind of got it, but they didn't really get it like we did because we're older. We got to experience it as we were in school.
It was our childhood. Right?
It was so we kind of
was our childhood.
So for us, for it to stop abruptly and then just all of a sudden come back, and again, we knew it was going to come back. It was just a matter of how and when. Yeah. And we both, and me and you have been talking about this ad nauseum for years, especially with our group chat with the guys that we played with 10 years ago. We just didn't feel like the NCAA was going to be involved in this at all. In order for this to thrive the way we feel like it's going to thrive, they just couldn't be involved at all.
I think EA's realized as a company that this is what they need to do with all their games. It started with FIFA. It's running to NCAA. I don't think we'll see it ever with Madden just because of how now I think as they start to grow some trust with the NFL and the NFL will allow them to do some things that they previously hadn't allowed them to do. But it's starting to feel like I feel like sports games need to head to a future where you just have a game called Madden.
Right. What's the proper term for it?
And it's a platform, right? A live service game.
Live service.
You can just drop bug fixes into. You can drop And they do it to a degree, right? They do patches, but then if you look at like a Destiny or a Borderlands or
Right.
games like that, that's like every week there's a hot fix, right?
Yeah.
This week we dropped Steve Sarkisian's face scan into the game.
Right.
Just like things like that don't require a patch, and then you save your patches for like these bigger installments of fixes. I think all sports games are going to get into that at some point. Now it's a matter of how do they transition themselves to do so, which becomes the question.
Let me ask you this question. From and I want you to put your former EA employee hat on. What, from a standpoint of like how this game is being released and what's going to be in this game, and we both kind of agree we already know. Then they're already kind of trickling this stuff out, right? Not all the teams are going to be in here. Yeah, all FBS teams are going to be in. All Division I teams are going to be in. But the other teams, the smaller teams, not this year, unfortunately. Yeah. And we kind of understand that. Like, again, we understand the logic of that. Again, I expect this game to be, as much as they're saying it's going to be detailed, I'm still like looking for my expectations of what to expect is still very bare. Me personally, I just want the game. I think a lot of us that are older just want the game. We don't necessarily. I feel like they could continue to roll things out. And again, they're building a base, right? So like they have to start off with some type of foundation, right? And so those details are kind of built on that foundation. But again, we're starved and we just want the from a standpoint, from a relationship standpoint, if this studio, because I don't know which studio is developing the college football game, if this studio does well and this game is knocked out the park, because what if this game overshadows Madden?
It will. Just the fact that it's coming out, it will overshadow Madden.
What from that standpoint, and again, that's why I'm asking from an EA perspective. I want you to put your EA hat on. What do you do if you're Tiburon Studios?
You run with it. You if you're Tiburon, you have to rebuild your game so that you are now a part, just like it was in the old days. You have to rebuild your game so that you are a part of that transition. Listen, games these days are all about player experiences, right?
Right.
It's not about, hey, let me go play the franchise mode from a little bit and then,
right,
every couple of days. Everything that you do is now built off an experience. And as your soul, like for our generation, for example, right? We sat here for hours and hours and hours. We used to advance a week every single day. Hey,
yeah, you got to a point. Yeah.
11 p.m. If you ain't, like, I'm going to be honest with you, we probably won't do that now. We might go to every other day. We just have different lives. So you've got to create an experience that's immersive, but at the same time detailed and at the same time easy, right? So the point, for example, in NCAA 14, the point and click system of recruiting, right?
Right.
I still think it needs to be point and click. Hit the A button to do this, add 50, 100 points to do this. But then you might get an extra menu that says, would you rather do this?
Do you think the point and click method needs to be added as well as the former old school traditional way of recruiting?
Yeah, you have to add a certain aspect to it because you've got to add the NIL field to it. Hey, Billy Bob Joe might come to Texas. Would you like to risk $1,000 or, I'm making up some, right? $15,000 to bring him to the University of Texas. And all it is yes or no. Right. And then now there might be some more in-depth logic on the back end. Right. I remember back in the day when your players could like come back and you said you had to like promise him like X amount of things. It's got to be something like that.
Right.
And it's that simple, right? Just a menu option. You can't make this. You have to make it for the hardcore gamer, but you have to make it easy for your casual player, right? And then you got to take what you do in NCAA, especially Road to Glory. Madden is putting a heavy focus on Superstar mode this year, and there was a reason why they went back to Superstar mode. I think EA's known that like college football is going to be coming back soon, so we've got to revamp our our franchise mode and
Yeah.
our superstar mode to match what is coming, because that team and the Madden team probably talk often.
Right. So do
Because
you
the
feel
Madden team has the experience of the
right?
engines, the coding. The NCAA team or the college football team is building this game from scratch.
Right.
So,
Do you
yeah.
do you
Go ahead.
think because of the detail and the information that they're putting in that in college football, do you think that that is going to affect how Madden has to kind of guess pivot? Because we all know, since maybe 360, like college, the superstar mode has been kind of bare bones. At one point, it was the thing in Madden
That
where
was
it
so much
was,
fun. It
yeah,
used to
it
be a
was,
lot of
it was
fun.
fun. Like, and they're starting to listen. Slowly but surely they're bringing things back in. We've been talking about having the training camps, putting training camps back in, making sure that you put the 40-yard dash, things like that, the different type of mini games to make your not only give your player an advantage, but it also was just something that made us feel good because we would strive to make sure that we got the best records that we could and so forth. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, do you feel like with all the detail that's being added within college football that it's going to eventually trickle over? Because you can't, to me, and this is just me, you can't have a game that's just fully detailed in everything, right? College football is all about the details. And then you get to the NFL and then have this a bare bones game.
Well, you
I don't know
can.
how that works. I don't know how that works.
You can, because you're not hogtied by the NFL. Listen, there's a lot of things that Madden had to get rid of because the NFL wouldn't allow it. Here's a great example of this. Create a team. The NFL
Right.
didn't want it. They said, no, you can't do that. And then they
Really?
took it out. Yeah, because they didn't want people, taking the Ravens and making it hot pink. They didn't want people taking the Cowboys and turning it, orange and black or whatever the hell you want to do, right?
Right.
They didn't want these things because it ruined their assets and their brand. The NFL, as the league started to grow at the rate that it did,
Right.
wanted more and more control over what was allowed in the game.
Right.
So my guess is that you're not going to get the level of customization in Madden that you are going to get in NCAA. It's never going to happen because the NFL will never allow it. The NFL is going to continue as long as they are associated with the NFL. There's a reason why you pay a licensing fee. This is the reason why. Why do you think 2K5 went away?
There you go.
The NFL said, no, I don't want you to do that. And 2K's like, well, why? Because that's not what we want. So then they're like, well, if we know that these games are this popular, why don't we just charge for whoever has the licensing? If you charge for the licensing, then you have full control over what they can and can't put in the game.
Right. Also,
it's the same thing with EA and FIFA. Right. If you look at FIFA this year, I'm just taking Ultimate Team because that's what I know. Right?
Yeah.
What I play the most. In the last when they introduced like an Ultimate Team Legends, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had, you have a base legend, and then for 2 or 3 years, that's all you got, right? And then in FIFA 19, 20 maybe, you got 3 different versions. You got a base legend, you got the mid icon that they used to call as like the middle of their career as they were hitting their prime, and then the prime icon, right? That's all you got.
Yeah.
Now, like this year, every promotion that FIFA releases, there's icons in every promotion. So, for example, they just released Team of the Year. There's Team of the Year icons. They might not all be the same, but it'll be like, Mbappe's your Team of the Year, whatever, striker, right? But you could have Ronaldinho at his prime, his best season, where he was the best player at the world, right? And then you make a card for that.
Oof.
So it's almost like in Madden. Let's just say Madden releases Team of the Year tomorrow, right?
Right.
And they say, okay, you can get Patrick Mahomes, right? Team of the Year. Or you could get Legend Team of the Year Peyton Manning, where he won his 3rd MVP and he's a 99 overall. That's what FIFA, that's what EAFC does now.
Yeah.
But now they're able to do things like that because they're not tied down by
Right.
the NFL to say nope, or they're not tied down by FIFA to say no. You can only have 3 versions of this card in this game.
Right.
So it's things like that that the NFL will not allow. Right? It's things like you can't do a Team of the Year version just because you're doing a program. Right?
Right.
You can do something. You would have to do those like you have to do Ultimate Legends. It's the same thing. You have to do Ultimate Legends. You have to do whatever legends, right? But then there might be little promos where like, all right, you can stick a card in there, right? You can do, ghosts of past or whatever.
Right.
But
Right.
there's no flexibility in the content that I think college football Ultimate Team is going to take over Madden Ultimate Team over the years. And I think that's going to be 100% true. And I think they're going to keep it simple enough so that everybody has the opportunity to play because that's what they care about. At the end of the day, they care about the player experience. So if I was at EA, that's how I would be thinking about things. Customization and dynasty mode is really cool and all that fun stuff. If you're thinking about the longevity of the game, but then also thinking about the business aspect of how you make money off of this game, Ultimate Team is where you're going to have the most ultimate flexibility.
Right.
And I think that's where they're going to put that team is going to be key to the success of this game from a financial perspective.
Most definitely. Yeah. I agree with you 1,000% on that. One of the things that also sticks out to me is just that just the fact that right now we know as it gets bigger, as the game gets bigger and as these as the excitement builds and it, we think this game will be really, really successful, and I believe it'll be successful because of just the information that we're being fed is just leading me to believe that this game is going to be successful. The fact that everybody is getting like $600, like you sign in the long snapper, my long snapper is getting the same thing as Quinn Ewers is getting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My long snapper is getting the same thing as Arch Manning is getting. Now we know that their NIL deals are going to be way different. The long snapper, he might only have like a $10,000 NIL deal to Raising Cane's. I don't know, but if
even that,
if even that, we don't necessarily know the ins and outs of that, but I believe that as the game gets bigger, these contracts will get bigger. Again, just off of pure nostalgia, a lot of these kids can remember because they were at that age. They were at that age to where they could kind of remember. They were 7, 8, 9 years old. Maybe had some 10-year-olds in there. So that was their childhood, but they lost it.
This is the last of the generations that had any of it, right?
Right.
So after this this group of freshmen, I don't think anybody else got to experience it at all, right? But even this group of freshmen barely got it. Like this group of freshmen, like what, 18, 17?
Right.
So 2013, so they're like what, 6 or 7? So if they got any at all, this is what they got, right? They got NCAA 14.
They got NCAA 14. So the thing is, and I believe with that being said, like the way that this is worked out kind of works out for EA because EA could have literally, I think any older generations, we would have took anything, right? I think we would have literally took anything. However, this latest generation, like, hey, you put a little. We're gonna put a little something in your pocket. We don't have a lot. We don't have a lot to offer, but we're gonna put a little bit in your pocket just to say, hey, like, thank you for letting us put you in this game.
Yeah,
we're gonna give you a couple codes, hey, because we all know how they're gonna roll those codes. Them codes are gonna be digital. Ain't nothing physical coming out unless you're a big dog. Unless you are a big dog, and hey, Arch Manning really wants a physical copy of the game for his uncles. Cool, that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Quinn Ewers says.
I mean, even Arch, right? Listen, Arch is just a big name, right? He'll get his.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing a name out there. If Jalen Milroe calls and says, "Hey, I would really like a physical copy of this game," they're gonna deck it up. That's one thing. Another thing that I love about the Madden thing. when it comes to presentation to the players and how they roll stuff out to the players, phenomenal. So it's even I feel like if they're able to do this with the college football players, it's gonna be so much great, guys. Like we really have something to have a lot of joy. Like there's no football right now, there's no college football, no NFL, but it still feels like football season because of the rollout. This rollout is crazy.
The big players, the shot callers, right? So there's a list of players that have been confirmed, and I think I know why this is that list of players. So Will Johnson, Quinn Ewers, Nick Singleton, running back. I don't know where he's from. Brady Cook, quarterback for Missouri, Jalen Milroe, Garrett Nussmeier, Denzel Burke, Malachi Moore, Travis Hunter. I think this first wave of players that have announced are going to be like your game ambassadors. So EA, they have like for every game they have guys that are like ambassadors of the game, right? Like the guys that are like them. And these are going to be those guys. And I think this is the first. These are your top of the top, right? That are going to get probably because you're an ambassador, you're going to have X deal on top of the 600. So they're not only going to get $600, right? There's probably something else.
Yeah, there's probably they'll probably get a real nice ambassador's check.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So because of time, let's move on. So that's the thing. They want to make the experience unique. They want to make sure that this game is its own game versus what Madden is, which is a completely different game.
Yeah.
And then the playoffs and realignment will be customizable. This was phenomenal. This is one of the first things that I had said.
That is good.
Knowing that, and this is the smartness of EA coming of this particular EA team. That says, look, we're literally going from 4 to 12. Look at how big that jump is. And then you see the people, well, I don't want a 12. I don't want and now hell, and we'll talk about this here in a little. We'll talk about this here in a little bit. The NCAA just approved the 5+7 yesterday.
Yep.
Or 2 days ago. Yesterday, they were talking about a 14 team for 2026. So then now we're already talking about even more teams. So this customizable aspect of the playoff is going to be very interesting. And also, it is confirmed that the college football playoff is licensed in the game. They actually tweeted out that they will also be a part of the game. So this will be the college football playoff.
Right.
This isn't going to be a knockoff. It's going to be a licensed college football playoff.
So that means we will see, most likely, we will see the Dr. Pepper college football playoff trophy in the game.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
The national championship will be in the game.
Right.
Along with all your other bowl games, but that's the new thing, right? Just like the BCS was in the game. Desmond Howard obviously confirmed later. Pat McAfee hasn't confirmed that he's in the game, but maybe Pat McAfee's still asleep. This is the one thing I thought was interesting. The Senior Bowl tweeted out.
Yeah, Reese's Senior Bowl.
Reese's Senior Bowl tweeted out later talking about EA Sports College Football Senior Bowl. I don't know if that's just a cryptic way of saying that they're in the game, or if that's then saying let's make it happen. I did
a little digging on that one because I remember when you posted it, I was actually on break. I didn't have enough time to really give you a call to tell you about that. But if you go and you look at these tweets that EA has sent out, remember how they have this like ongoing rotation of different college school colors?
Yep.
In that college school color, like that rotation of teams that will be in the game, that Reese's peanut butter cup symbol and like
in there?
Well, not the cup symbol, but the color combination is in there.
Interesting.
So
I would not be surprised. This is like a big road to glory thing, right? I think for the RTG, this would be huge. It would be cool for like the Dynasty mode too.
And Madden, that's major. This is
the thing.
If they make the two connect, that's major.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we talk about player immersion, and then how do you take that player base from NCAA to Madden? To grow back your player base that's been dead for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The Madden player base is dead. It's a dead game. It's dead, right? Let's
Right.
just call a spade a spade.
Yeah, after the Super Bowl, you see the dip in the game. You
And
know,
the view
it's just
now,
now
but then look
after
at
the football season, basically.
but then you don't even an Ultimate Team, right? You don't have anything from Team of the Year until the Combine. But now, what if you could put, Senior Bowl players in Madden Ultimate Team or in College Football Ultimate Team, Senior Bowl standouts, right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You now have new promos that you can explore with. Besides your big, and again, there's only going to be 10 or 12 promos throughout the entire life cycle of the game. That's just how it works, right? But how you do it, what you do it, what variety you do it in is what matters. So the Senior Bowl can even come to NCAA as not just – it could be an Ultimate Team too, right?
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy runs a 4.340. He gets a 99 overall Senior Bowl standout card.
Right.
Or a 96 with the 99 speed or whatever you want to do it, right?
And maybe if you get enough collectibles, you could collect it in the game and get a base elite Xavier Worthy whenever that comes out in the next match. There's a lot of ways.
There's so many things they can do.
It's a lot.
The final thing I want to talk about is there was Matt Brown tweeted out earlier this morning. I think I can say without getting my number blocked at EAHQ is that I have been told that user generation content is a priority.
That's awesome.
I don't think it's worth panicking over lack of customization tools. I think Team Builder is coming back.
If that means that Team Builder is coming back from a website perspective, I'm all fucking for it. Again, I know the coding's old. I went on a rant about that last week. I know the coding's old, but if you can do it back then,
they can work with the FIFA team and say, "Hey, can we use your template for a website and we can put something up?"
Right, because the FIFA website is the best website,
and even that is still bad.
Yeah,
but it's the best that they have, right?
Right.
But I think Team Builder is coming this year, and I think that's one of the things they're going to save to like one of the very ends, so they can this is more of like a hardcore player thing.
Yeah, this is for the hardcore players. I know I definitely made a bunch of teams as we continue to play throughout the NCAA franchise and the online franchise and things of that nature. It was just cool to create and see how things looked once you got them in the game. Because again, a lot of the time we were utilizing PCs and phones and stuff like that to create these teams, and then we would upload them into the game and go from there. So it's really going to be interesting to see how they roll that out. Also, I really hope that they are able to bring back the franchise mode on the website, where we were able to go in, we were able to create this timeless content that we unfortunately lost because of it. Being able to create articles, being able to go in, take stills from the game and highlights from the game and upload them onto this website, to where we could go and just drop a link and look at the latest Dynasty Wire. We had our own Dynasty Wire, so I hope that that's a thing that comes back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's one of the things that we'll keep in mind, and even for your casual players, right? Sometimes guys want to go recreate their high schools. I remember when I was in high school and this game was out and Team Builder website was out, I recreated our entire district. Every player, every high school in our district, and I put them in the game and put them in the conference.
Yeah.
But it was all done on the computer. It was so quick.
You could do that. You could get on there. You could edit a player. You can make that player whatever. You could edit that player, put whatever you needed on him, and then go and put him out there in the game.
But here's the thing. Now you can use AI tools to do all that stuff for you. So the creation of doing this stuff is even less. Hey, you take this information, ChatGPT, take this information and put it in this format, so that all I have to do is copy and paste.
Right.
Dude, AI will do everything for you now.
Right.
I'm telling you, if they create a Team Builder website, it'll be the smartest thing they've ever done, because players can get customizations out there quickly, and they'd be able to do it in a much faster pace.
Right.
Right now, this controller thing and doing it on the controller is not going to work.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's why we used to utilize Operation Sports, right?
Yeah.
Remember when Operation Sports came out? There was a
Yep.
dedicated, I can't remember his name. I still got him on my Xbox list. And he's still active too. But
Yes.
I can't remember his name. But basically you would go and find his file or find that Xbox Profiles file, download it, and then that way you could download it onto the game through file share. And then from there you can upload the actual names into the games. And that's how we used to do it. Now,
Yep.
you don't even have to worry about this anymore. It could be from a standpoint of like, hey, if Team Builder's coming back, we could create the 2005 Texas Longhorns, create the 2012 Texas Longhorns, the 2023 Longhorns. It's a really good. It's really good to just be able to talk about this in its reality that it's going to happen
Right.
very soon.
Mhm.
This was all just a pipe dream a couple of years ago, and now it's reality.
It's been a pipe dream for a very long time. And the final thing that I just want to throw out there, just for in case there's still any naysayers or people that doubt that this game is coming out, the game is officially on each store to add to your wish list.
Absolutely. Do you have that screenshot that you want to share?
It's on my phone. Let me send it to myself real quick, and I can share it. So, excuse my TV. But let's see.
So just so people can see that it's not fake, it's not, because again, as much as people have talked about it, and we have talked about it, I have seen people like, oh, I don't believe it. I won't believe it until I see it. Drop a trailer already, dog. And I get it, like we've been burned for so long, but at the same time, we've heard absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
We heard nothing. We got official schools going out being like, hey, we're in the game. Hey, we're doing it. Like, that's all I saw. Like just a color palettes from all over the country. I've seen people talking, Washington State was one I saw today. I seen a Michigan State, Penn State. People are like just repping, like it's just a good time. There it is. Bang. If you don't need anything else, that is from the Xbox. That is your Xbox, right? And that is your cursor, which is royal blue, and it's saying that it's not available yet.
Yeah, so you can add it to your wish list, and my guess is that it'll start becoming available when once the trailer drops. Right?
Yeah,
I think May it might even be available before that.
It might be because this is a lot. This information that came out today is a lot of information.
Yeah, I think once you might get it before the trailer. Actually, you might get it when the trailer comes because that's when they talk about like the different versions.
Yeah,
they want to do that. They'll do their own thing, but we'll see. We'll continue to see what we have as far as the coming 10 weeks before May. I'm just saying 10 weeks because that's when May starts, and then we'll see what. Then it sounds like Thursdays are going to be their days, right? Because we've got now 2 straight Thursdays of information.
Yeah, Madden. When Madden, I remember Madden 20 when Madden 20 was like a big deal because it was Madden 20, and like the rollouts and stuff like that for Madden was basically on Fridays. So everybody's got their dates. I remember FIFA was on Wednesdays, maybe Tuesday or Wednesdays, one of those days.
FIFA's Fridays.
FIFA's Friday. Okay, FIFA's Friday as well. So yeah, I remember a lot of those rollouts for a lot of these games. And man, it's just to a point to where we just get to sit back and enjoy it, man.
Yeah, you're just waiting for the next week and see what happens.
Be a part of the community, and I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. Just be aware that there's probably gonna be some type of situations server-wise on when this game comes out. It's gonna be so many people trying to play this game, dog. Like,
yeah.
I just can't imagine. So I know the level of patience because nobody has any patience for EA right now, or for any real sports developer right now. It's just not. They just don't have the.
Nobody has patience for any game. If you Helldivers 2.
Yep, Helldivers. I've been
Helldivers 2,
and I've heard really really good things about that.
It's awesome.
And so I was like $40. Like I
it's only 40.
It's only $40.
Oh, not bad. I might go.
It's only $40. and it's $40, and it's a live service game.
Yep.
So $40.
It looks awesome.
I'm cool with that. I know what to expect. I've done my research. I've talked to fans and friends that are playing the game. They love the game. They struggle with the game. Tommy, one of our former EA employees as well, he told me it took him like 45 minutes to get the match, but once he got in, he was great. So
Yep. We will have server issues.
Yeah, I expect.
Every launch of any EA title in the last 10 years have had server issues. So
I expect it. Anything else?
No, I mean, I think I do want to talk a little bit about the new college football format. Let's save that for next week.
Okay.
We're already over on time, and I've got to get out of here. So you have any closing thoughts on where we're at right now?
No, man. I really hope that we do continue to get this type of information. I'm really excited, man. Again, I just it hasn't felt like this in a long time. Like we just talked about Helldivers 2. That's a live service game. People are absolutely enjoying this game. People are talking about, we did have a couple of duds were like in the video game industry with like
disappointing duds too, right? I was really hoping Suicide Squad did well, and it didn't.
Right.
It did miserably.
Unfortunately, it didn't. It didn't, but there's a plethora of games, and this is not speaking from just on college football. This is like games in general. This is what brought us together outside of the Longhorns as well. We got the Borderlands trailer yesterday, so it's just, to me, it's really a good time to be a gamer. And so I'm just really, really excited. I'm just really excited because not only are we doing good in college football and other sports as well, but we also get to play one of the things that fueled the fandom, right? The college football game fueled fandom, right? And so we're finally getting that back after 10 plus years, and I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I look forward to it, man. And I look forward to the rollout.
So just some closing thoughts. March is, just because we're talking on the topics of gaming and stuff, March is a big month for gaming.
Right.
So March, you've got, I'm looking at the list right now, Outcast Trials, which looks really good.
Right.
WWE 2K24, for those of you guys that are into that. As Dusk Falls, which is PS5 exclusive.
Right.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be big. That's a huge
game. Yeah. That's a huge game, and it looks phenomenal.
The one I'm most excited about is Rise of the Ronin. That game looks amazing. I've been waiting for that game for a while. So there's a lot that are gonna keep us held over until July, right?
Right.
April, not much coming out because there's usually April, May, June are kind of dead.
Yeah, April is usually a start of fiscal year for a lot of companies too.
Yeah, so there's not really much coming out. There's a Braid Anniversary Edition coming out.
Right.
That's probably the big game in April. May, you got nothing.
Right.
June, you have nothing because that's
which is kind of crazy. May is usually a hot month.
June, you actually have the Elden Ring DLC.
Oh, that's major. Yeah.
And that looks cool. And then Destiny 2 Final Shape. So you got Destiny and Elden Ring, right?
Right.
And then of course July is NCAA, and then August is Wukong. That's the game that I'm the most excited for this year, outside of NCAA. Right?
Wukong is going to be great. We've been following that game for like 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, we've been following it for a long time.
And for those that don't necessarily know, Wukong is Dragon Ball Z is loosely based off of Wukong. Wukong is basically a warrior, an ape warrior that is like, he goes around looking for fights, and he'll fight anybody. So and so Dragon Ball Z is or Dragon Ball in general, Goku, the main character, is loosely based off of Wukong. So I definitely am interested in that because they do follow quite a few tales in regards to that. So I'm ready for that as well.
No idea what the Wukong tales are, but the gameplay for that game looks super sick.
Yeah, it looks like a game. It looks like an Elden Ring
next gen game.
Yeah,
it looks like how I expected all of our next gen games to look like.
Yeah,
so I'm very excited for that. All right, Tim, let's get out of here. Where can the people find you?
You can find me at Tim Wayne on Twitter, man. Let's talk, especially college game day with or college EA Sports college football. It's hard to
it's a change.
NCAA. Yeah, it's a change. It's a good change, but hey, listen, you can find me there. Let's talk EA Sports College Football 25. What do you want in the game? Who you gonna play with? Who you gonna start your dynasty with? If you come to me talking about you're starting the dynasty with like Georgia or like Ohio State or Michigan, who just won a national championship, or even teams like USC, okay, don't come over here, bro. I'm looking for the Kent States. I'm looking for the Toledos. I'm looking for Arizona State, where it's hard to recruit there because you got to worry about USC. So that's what I want to talk to.
What's your first non-Texas dynasty movie?
My first non-Texas dynasty?
Unless you're ruining something.
No, I'm not ruining anything. My first non-Texas, probably. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really liking the Georgia Southerns of the world. I'm liking that area because it's in a hotbed. Now, do you got a lot of competition? Absolutely, but it's like Georgia Southern, Appalachian State.
That sounds like fun.
That sounds like fun. Even though Syracuse.
Okay.
Syracuse, people don't like Syracuse hasn't been good in a long time, but Syracuse does have quite a bit of history. You got Donovan McNabb, you got Ernie Sims, stuff like that. So like stuff like that, like teams like that.
I really want to do a Sam Houston State rebuild.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be dope. My wife is a Sam Houston State alum, so I'd love to do a Sam Houston State rebuild, taken from the AAC or whatever conference they're in. And now that I can move them to like a Big 12, and then I hope something like that is there in the game where you can progress. If you do well, you just get the option to move, right? You don't have to manually do it. It says, hey, you now qualify.
I feel like that was an option.
You had to customize it. You didn't. It was an option in the face of like you had to customize it happening. So manually.
There was never an invite to where you could
not like a prompt. Yeah, there's never like, hey, you've been invited to the Big 12. Like that never existed. I want that to be a thing.
Right. Okay.
I want that to be a thing. Hey, you won the whatever, the American 3 years in a row.
Come to the Big 12.
Due to your success, the Big 12 is invited you.
That would be so nasty.
Would you like to accept or would you like to decline? Right? And if you decline, maybe you get another offer somewhere else in 2 years. Maybe you don't get any offers, and then realignment happens, and then you miss out, right? And you're stuck again for another 5 years.
Dude, auto realignment would be nuts.
That's what I want. It should happen.
That would be nuts. Yeah, we definitely got to do a wish list next week. Let's talk wish list next week.
Well, I don't want to do it won't be a live show, but I think we should do like a pre-recorded show that we'll put up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we
can do like a. I think I record with Horseshoe on Tuesday night.
Okay.
So maybe we can jump on after that. It'll be a late night for me, but we can jump on
for sure.
That. Recorded video. I don't edit it and then just throw it up there, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. My name's the Uncle Gandhi, Harish. You can find me there on Twitter. Of course, you can find us both at LH Fan Battle.
Yes, sir.
Between now and then, in between time, we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Hey, so Gabriel, welcome.
Go home, touchdown like the end zone.